countries throughout the world are striving to remove trade barriers to reduce the cost of doing business. In Africa, the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, is one such region body established in 1994 to boost trade among member states and to remove barriers which affect trade. COMESA has 21 member states with a population of over 500 million people and a gross domestic product of over 800 million United States dollars. It has a global export and import trade in goods worth 300 billion United States dollars. Such is the strength of the regional body's market niche.
Let's agree on a common list of products to put in the list of that. So once that agreement is done, then all products in those lists are exempted from these other customs clearance procedures. Once you have that. So it takes time for member states to agree on which products should be put in the list. I think last week we just had almost a fourth meeting between DRC and Zambia in Dola. I think in that meeting they agreed on close to 90 products which are sold between the two. So it takes time, and governments, it takes time to constitute those. So the costs that are involved in convening those meetings and other things, consultations, requires resources. That is why it limits.
COMESA forms a major marketplace for both internal and external trading. Geographically, it occupies 2/3 of the African continent with an area of 12 million square kilometers. Its headquarters is in Zambia. The regional body offers a wider harmonized and more competitive market share to its member states.
Of rules and regulations which is becoming a problem. So there are three aspects to it. So one of it is, you see, our focal point ministries are naturally the ministries of trade. In most countries, others could be ministries of foreign affairs. So sometimes they are the ones who lead these negotiations. And it is expected that once you are a focal point, then they are able to convince the other structures of government and the National Assembly to domesticate or make necessary reforms in tandem with what is agreed at the REC level. So the experience is that sometimes there are challenges in terms of capacity or engagement of legislators. And so you find a country may have signed a protocol, but it requires that it is ratified. It is taken to Parliament for it to be able to, parliamentarians to be able to amend, make necessary adjustments. So that takes time. You know how the National Assembly works. So that is one, the internal capacity constraints. There's also the other aspect of the legislators themselves. So to what extent do our parliamentarians know about RECs and the commitments that are made of? So it requires a bit of effort to sensitize them, to let them, these issues be a priority list in discussions in Parliament.
The Cross-Border Trade Association, involved in taking care of the interests of the informal traders at the Kasumbalesa border with the Democratic Republic of Congo, is appreciating the role of COMESA. COMESA is offering training to these informal traders who have been engaging in illegal trade to realize the need of crossing the border formally rather than using illegal routes.
Under Cross-Border Traders Association, we work with COMESA, and COMESA has given us a lot of components that we normally, let me say, there are benefits that we are receiving from COMESA. There is what we call under EDF 11. Yes, there's a component called EDF 11. And this component, we have received a lot of support. Number one, there's a support for capacity building and trainings for small-scale traders. These small-scale traders have been trained in such a way that how can you cross a border formally? So there are formalities that we have been trained on how to cross the border formally, because most of them, they normally use bush paths. Why? Because they don't know that there's a component where you can use a facility without paying even duty. And this came from COMESA. So one of these components is a simplified trade regime that we have received under COMESA, whereby if a trader has got goods worth $2,000, he's not going to pay duty.
In its promotion of formal trade, COMESA has placed officers at border posts to help small-scale traders with border procedures.
So COMESA has done a recommendable job. And the other things, we've received the component of the trade information desks, where a trader can access the information on trade-related issues.
My role as a TID, Trade Information Desk Officer, is to give information to traders, a voice of traders. In terms, maybe they've got a problem, they come through my office, they get information from me. I give information on what they are supposed to do when intending to come into Zambia or going into another country. I help them when they are apprehended by immigration. I speak on their behalf. Then previously we used to capture the data manually, but right away, through the information we used to give to COMESA, the ZAMStats have come in, and now we are using the CAPI instead of the PAPI. So we thank the COMESA for doing that. When I get the information, I always send the monthly reports to COMESA. Then the CAPI is the tablet where you get the information, like the ZLA, they get the commodity through the commercial. And for us here, we are recording the commodity through the small-scale traders. So we record them through the tablet, and it goes to the server to ZAMStats. So that's where you can get the information more.
The Zambia Revenue Authority Station Manager highlights digital operation reforms undertaken at the border, which have resulted in promoting efficiency in serving these people crossing the border.
So we've got smart gates here, and I said they help in the flow of traffic. And not only that, we've got proper records in terms of statistics and trade flow because of this. But also this automation, all our systems are automated, so it means there's accountability for actions on the system. And I believe we are able to be opened up even for audits, because there are trails and there are also policies that protect this automation as well. So I think things to do like transactions happening on the system, or receipting happening on the system, I think there's accountability for what we do, because I think we are into revenue collection. So I think if everything is properly documented on a credible system, accountability is definitely required for those.
The truck drivers, who are the movers of the economy through the transportation of goods across borders of member states, are happy about the COMESA Yellow Card, which is recognized as a valid insurance cover when in transit.
When I'm traveling from Mozambique carrying goods, I pass through Zimbabwe, Zambia, going to DRC. If I'm having this COMESA carrier's license, if I'm stopped in Zambia, they just ask me about this license, and I show them. They will not question me any questions. They will say, pass through, you can go. Yeah, no problem.
The same COMESA which we use in DRC and in Zimbabwe when going to Zimbabwe. So that means wherever we go, mainly like DRC, we just produce COMESA, that is the insurance. When we reach Zimbabwe, coming back to Zambia, when they ask about insurance, we just give them COMESA. Sometimes we can go and come back without asking. We just use it on the border when we are crossing. The men will just give the agents to use it for registering your documents. Then they give it back to you. Then you go and come back without anyone to ask about it.
COMESA is a key regional body that promotes increased agricultural production and food security and advocates for a more reliable transport and communications infrastructure among member states. As a member state, Zambia will host the COMESA Summit of Heads of States on 8 June. President Hakainde Hichilema will take over the chairpersonship, and the gesture will help to strengthen the country's role in national integration.